These blues in my pocket, I look like a crip. Shit was crazy, growing up like 80, came up off a zip, gon' go out blazing. Nigga try to play me, I'm coming off the hip.
Cassie loved every minute of that piss.
I do not feel sorry for Cassie. I just can't feel sorry for a bitch that was in that shit for 10 years. It's nothing in me that's making me be like...
Loved every fucking second. That was her thing too. Just like his Young Miami's thing.
I don't know why I don't feel sorry for abused women. I don't know why I don't feel sorry for you. Yeah, the first round, when he do it, the first time, but I get your eyes, swell your lip, I would be so mad and crying with you, bitch. Because there's nothing you obviously could have done at the time. How do a bitch stick around and just get your ass?
What's up, YouTube? We back. Let's go ahead and start this thing off right, man. If you got a loved one doing time in prison, if you got a loved one currently doing time in prison, send them a copy of the #1 magazine publication in the nation. And that is Street Elements Magazine, man. I can't remind you guys or even make you guys understand, man, the importance of mail call. It's so many men and women that are incarcerated right now who don't receive no mail. All right? So if you got a loved one, man, send them a copy of Street Elements Magazine. All right, man, there's been a lot of stuff going on out there in the internet, man. The news is just flooded with all type of stuff. You got Tory Lanez. You got P. Diddy. You know, I did a post on TikTok, man, where I told P. Diddy to take the 15 years. As I've been watching this trial, bro, I don't think they got him in a RICO. It's kind of hard to be in a RICO by yourself. But guess what? I got charged with racketeering. I got found guilty of racketeering by myself in a dope conspiracy. All right, with no drugs involved. All hearsay, right? No drugs involved. But P. Diddy case is a little different, man. Now, by law, but we all know it seemed like everything was consensual. I mean, from what went down, right? But by law, how the law is written. And I need you guys to Google this, right? Because this thing go back further than Diddy. I want y'all to look up the Mann Act, right?
The Homeland Security deals with natural and man-made disasters. They deal with terrorist activity. Where does it come in to deal with sexual misconduct? That's the FBI, who came into existence to get Jack Johnson and set the foundation for the Mann Act, which was taking women across state lines for illicit purposes. They wanted to get Jack Johnson because he had a white wife and he took her with her friend girls across state lines to party. That's what they went after R. Kelly with. The Mann Act most recently. That's the FBI. So what are they investigating? Supposedly sexual misconduct? Why the hell do they have Homeland Security doing the search warrant when they...
The Mann Act. It was founded in 1910. Let me get this up in front of me. Okay, the Mann Act, also known as the White Slavery Traffic Act. Listen to what it is. The White Slavery Traffic Act is a United States federal law passed in 1910 that prohibits the transportation of women and girls across state lines for the purpose of prostitution or debauchery or for any other immoral purposes. This is how these people write the laws up now. It's crazy how they write these laws up, but they already have them in the books because they be trying to target certain individuals. Now, when this law was enacted in 1910, 3 years later, they went ahead and knocked off your boy Jack Johnson, who was a boxer. They knocked him off with the same charge because that's who it was actually made for, designed for. They got tired of him because he was a boxer and he was taking white women across state lines and taking them up and through them. Now look, a lot of people don't know that's against the law, how they got it written up. But the government only used it to take certain individuals down. Now the individual they like to take down with this is the people who they got on the string. You see? Now let's see who was charged with this. Y'all can Google this with me. Let me see. All right, I got some more. The Mann Act. Let me get more of this. The Mann Act initially intended to combat human trafficking. That's what it say now. That's what the law say. This in 1910. They were about human trafficking back then and prostitution back then. Okay. It was used against Johnson and other black men in a way that criminalized consensual relationships. Did you hear what I just read now? This is what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. These people play different, man. These people are word wizards, man. They use words in a way and they put them on paper and the people don't know you breaking these laws, man. You know, that's just how they're going to always stay. They're going to stay one step ahead because they already have the laws in the book. This law been in existence since 1910, man. It's 2025.
When asked why she participated in the freak-offs, Cassie stated on the stand that she wanted to please Mr. Combs and that she felt like he had opened up and shared something very intimate and personal with her, and that she didn't want him to feel rejected by her not wanting to participate.
P. Diddy fit Jack Johnson. He fit the description of a Jack Johnson. A black man with money who done crossed the line because he done crossed the same hand that was feeding him with the liquor company. You gave them bad press. So since in the process of giving them bad press, this is how the conglomerates pay you back. All right. Now, let me read that over again. The Mann Act, initially intended to combat human trafficking, was used against Johnson and other blacks men in a way that criminalized consensual relationships, particularly those involving white women. Johnson's conviction for transporting a woman across state lines for immoral purposes led to his imprisonment and a decline in his boxing career. No, damn. He was later pardoned by President Trump in 2018. I said Truman because it's for so long ago, but it was President Trump that pardoned him in 2018. But this man was long gone. But these laws are on the books. Now today it's not called the Mann Act. It's called human trafficking and prostitution. So from what I done got from the trial, I mean, we all know what was consensual at this point, man. P. Diddy was just a freak. He was taking the men and the women up and through there. I don't know what he was doing. But we all know from what we done heard, it was consensual, man. Everybody got paid. Ain't want nobody complaining until them people stepped in. Them big people.
How many rounds you be going?
You know.
The people don't.
You know.
I know, but the people don't.
Okay, so
I'm
what's the
asking for the people.
What's the answer? What's the answer?
Baby, let me tell y'all something. On the witch yacht. This don't go to sleep. I be like, God damn.
That nigga did that shit.
All right. But by how the law is written, this is how they always get you. How the law is written, if you have somebody that come across state lines for sexual activities or immoral purposes, like pissing in a cup, drinking a piss, they say that's immoral purposes. By law, you broke the law.
What Cassie just said during the Diddy trial just ruined my day. She said that after she was done with the man that they hired, the man would leave coating on her. And then Diddy would ask for her to come into the next room and remove the coating off of her so that he could be massaged with it. I don't know if I could keep.
By law, you broke the law. That's the only thing gonna mess him up. Now, I don't think he gonna get found guilty of the RICO. But you never know in them damn courtrooms, bro. But they can find him guilty of prostitution. They can find him guilty of that. Even though we all know it was consensual. Because when them people saying that they paid money to have sex, that is prostitution. And if you do it in a state where it's illegal, it's illegal. And by the federal government, it's illegal. That's just like weed is legal in California, but it's illegal somewhere else. And if you get caught with a certain amount of it, yeah, it's still going up the road. That's just how this thing works, man. You know, it's a tricky situation, bro. Do you know how many other rappers, because really and truly, these people play like this. When these people bring these people into the industry, when they bring them into the industry, they already allow them to do this type of stuff, and they have handlers around them. So they know what's going on. So they really got all the rappers on the screen, bro. Because all of them, they can find them guilty of this. So they got all of them on the screen because they done signed the contract and they control them. They move them around like they want. So they have to do what they want to do. You know, they're going to let them make some money. But if you ever cross them in some type of way, they can take you down. They done did it with every entertainer. They done had them. Man, let me tell y'all something. I don't know if y'all know about this. I don't know how sharp y'all is, right? You know, since the 1960s, we lost real leaders, people who was really trying to help move our people forward. You know, people who really say, man, we need to stick together as one and let's move forward and build our communities up. You know, keep that same, you know, and I'm really just learning this stuff as I grow. I didn't know this stuff when I was 20. I didn't know it when I was 30. I started learning this stuff as I got a little older, and I realized, man, it's really a plan without the black man. It really is a plan designed to keep the black men and women in a state of confusion. But anyway, let me go back. So we had real leaders at one time. Men and women who really want to keep the community together. That's how everybody who see this video, if you go back and check your city history, at once upon a time, your black community was doing good prior to civil rights. If you ask your grandma, ask your granddaddy, ask your uncle them, who was born in the 1930s, 40s, or 50s, or 60s, if they was around, how things was prior to 1970 something. That's when everything started changing. All right, that's when everything started changing. So you got to realize it really is a plan without the black man. It really is a plan. And you have to understand that since then, you haven't had no more leaders like Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. You got to realize what age these men was when they died. They was in their 30s, bro. They was in their 30s. So you got 30 years old back then, got a nation of people behind them, ready to move in one accord to try and help our people move forward as a unit. Because that's our downfall. We're against one another. We don't know how to work with one another long term to build anything. Yeah, it's okay, KC doing good, or that guy doing good, but together we ain't doing good. And that's how they want it. They want us divided. That one over there doing good by themselves, that one doing good by themselves. But if you ever pull your resources together, man, you're a hell of a team. But guess what? That's how society got it now. Nobody trusts nobody, everybody for self. They don't work like that. But anyway, let me get back on track. So after 1960, when they killed those leaders, the only thing they gave the black people then was entertainers and athletes. Entertainers and athletes. That's the only thing they gave us to follow and to look after, to look at, oh, these are people doing good. Entertainers and athletes. Well, guess what? Every last one of them, they got their mouth shut. They can't say certain things because they got them on the screen. They got to be controlled what they can and cannot say because they got them on the screen. You see, every entertaining athlete is controlled by media, and they are allowed to say certain things and the certain things they cannot say. And if they ever get out of line, they're going to show them how fast they control what's going on. So that's why, that's why you have things like that. So when you got entertainers like Puff Daddy who has situations like that, these people can always find a way to pull up a law. They can write the dust off of them. We ain't used this law in a long time. And bring it and put it to the forefront and try and charge him with something like racketeering. I don't think he's guilty of racketeering. How the hell can he be guilty of racketeering? I don't think it was a criminal. He wasn't profiting off it. Racketeering meaning that you making moves and you profiting off the situation financially, I guess. The only thing I done heard from what the information I done seen and heard on the internet is just him having people come across state lines for the purpose of prostitution. That's the only thing that I think that they can find him guilty of, the prostitution. But we all know it was consensual. But that's just how them laws written up, man. So that's my take on it. I know I ain't been on here in a minute. I've been over there working on the spot, man. So hopefully in another month, everything be set up, man, and we'll be shooting from over there, man. Like I said before, man, if you got a loved one doing time in prison, make sure you send them a copy of Street Elements Magazine, the #1 magazine publication in the nation. And like I say, man, it's nothing like hearing your name doing mail calls. So if you got somebody back there, man, look out for them. And y'all know my motto, man, make it happen or you capping.